Hi, Collective. Welcome back to Love, Light, and Life Affirmed, your daily affirmations for self love and growth. Hi, you guys. Welcome back into the channel. So, you guys, this is going to be part one of your shadow work oracle messages for this week. So, I'm just going to pull a spread, kind of see what the storyline is, see what shadow work is actually kind of weighing down the collective at this time. Let's see if we can talk about it, work through how to deal with some of those parts of our shadow, right? Because most of the time, our shadow is in our unconscious, right? These are behaviors and patterns, that are usually part of generational curses or just things that we've learned, depending on what we've been around, what we've encountered as we've grown. So, yeah, let's just tap in. Let's see what we can tackle today and see if we can figure out, a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of advice, and some good encouragement to keep us going. Welcome back, all of my current followers and subscribers. Thank you guys for being here with me again. You guys are amazing, incredible people, and I truly appreciate all your love and support. You guys have been amazing. I send all the love back to you guys tenfold that you guys are showing me in the channel. Welcome in all the new incoming followers and subscribers. Welcome to the Soul Tribe, you guys. I always love having new subscribers come in, bringing that good energy vibe. Thank you for being here and being open to learning about who you are, being open to working on your healing, because I know it's difficult. I know how tough it is. And it's good to see that you are stepping up to the challenge and wanting to be open to at least receiving information, even if you're not in the process, even if it's just something that you're trying to figure out more information about. This is why I'm here, to share the knowledge that I have, the experiences that I've gone through, and hopefully help you along your way. All right, you guys. So let's see what is going on in the collective. What do we need to talk about at this time? Okay. So the first one out is defensive. Unseen resistance to unresolved issues. Explore with curiosity, reflection, acceptance, and growth. So a lot of people are on the defense right now. And being defensive is obviously a mechanism for protection, right? So there are times in our life where we definitely have to be defensive. We have to have a shield of protection, around us to protect ourselves, right? From other people's negativity, negative energy. However, sometimes people are defensive unconsciously because of a lack of trust that they hold within themselves, because they've been let down or gone through a previous situation with another person or with another group of people. So now you are defensive against the general population. That is not a good trade, right? Because now you are basically assuming that everybody that maybe is, part of the same type of culture or group, or has the same skin color, or a male versus a female. You're assuming that these groups of people are people you have to be defensive against. And that means that you are generalizing. That means that you are judging everybody on the same playing field. And that is not fair. It's always important to make sure that you take the time to get to know people individually. Give them time to actually show you who they are. Yes, it takes a lot of time. You may just encounter someone briefly. Instead of being defensive against that person that you encounter briefly, especially if they don't give you a reason, just meet them with kindness. Again, if you are dealing with more people, let's say in the workplace or friends long term, you will know where to put those people depending on how they treat you, but don't just assume that you have to be guarded and defensive against everyone. Okay. What else? Self-reflection. Looking inward helps you see what to improve to make better choices, awareness, and improvement. Yes, a lot of my messages this upcoming week are about self reflection, gaining perspective about who you truly are. And it takes really looking at yourself on a deeper level, not on the surface, not your physical, attributes, but your character. Your character. Do you have a level of integrity? Do you wear a mask? Are you okay with being unique and standing out? Or do you always attempt to find a way to conform and to fit in? Are you insecure about who you are inside, that part of you that maybe nobody knows about, that person you are when you are by yourself? Are you insecure about who that is, or are you open? So self-reflection is needed in order to understand who you are so you know how to present yourself to others. It is also about finding out who you are in order to gain a level of confidence in who you are. If you don't take the time to reflect on who you are as a person on the inside, then you will basically listen to everyone else tell you who you are and should be. So having a true understanding and inner standing of who you are as a person takes self-reflection, and it takes a level of confidence. So take the time to figure out who you are, collective, okay? Having hope. Navigate your shadows with compassion and gentleness, grace, kindness, and self-care. Yeah, hope is definitely a big message this week as well. For anybody who is not feeling hopeful at this time, this is confirmation for you that it is okay to be hopeful, even if you don't feel like you know the way forward, even if you don't have a reason at this very moment that you're listening to feel hopeful. But let me tell you something. I can guarantee you, even if you don't have hope for a particular situation that you may be in, that you're trying to figure out, make a decision on, I guarantee you that there is something to be grateful for, which should make you feel hopeful. Having faith doesn't require you to see what's next. Having faith as God in the Bible says, it's just having faith as small as a mustard seed. Your faith doesn't have to be seen to be felt. Hope is the same way. You don't have to see what's next. You don't have to know the answers to be hopeful that you get the outcome that you need in a particular situation. Holding on to faith and hope will allow you to attract the desired outcome. But it takes you staying in a positive mindset. It takes you giving yourself grace. It takes you giving yourself kindness and self-care, not speaking to yourself negatively, not being pessimistic. Hope and faith flow the same. Hold your hope, hold your faith, even if you can't see the outcome. Okay? Inner balance. What you resist persists, what you accept transforms, wholeness and duality. So when I look at this message, after just looking at having hope, it's almost a message to each other, right? Having hope means having inner balance, again, even without knowing the outcome. It is about letting go of control. Stop resisting what's supposed to happen, even if it seems like the outcome is not desirable to you at that very moment, or you can't see how this particular outcome is going to end up in your favor. Stop resisting the change. Accept what is happening, which is going to allow you to transform, which is going to allow you to start to grow and move in the right direction, even if you can't see how. Again, having faith, having hope is not about seeing, it is about holding faith in obtaining the desirable outcome, even if you can't see how, and maintaining your inner balance. What else for the collective? Closed-minded, unwilling to consider other perspectives or entertain new ideas. Be more open. Openness, receptivity. Exactly. You don't have to be in control in order for things to change. And you can't be closed-minded and not be flexible or not be open and also want to see change, right? If you're closed-minded, that means that you expect things to stay exactly the same within the same box. Your choices, the way things have always happened, you want that box to stay closed and stay exactly the same. You don't want there to be any type of alterations, no decorations put on the box. You don't want to add any color. You don't want to obtain any new information. But how do you not expect change if you don't want any new information? I mean, it doesn't really work together, right? So have an open mind, be receptive to new information, allow change to occur, be open to change. This is what allows growth. This is what allows healing. This is what allows you to have a new perspective. So if you are a person who is closed-minded, practice being open to learning new things. I mean, we start learning as kids, right? Right out of the womb, we are starting to gain knowledge. But what I usually see is that when people get to a certain point in life, I hear it all the time. Sometimes people say, well, that's just who I am. Is it? Is that where you want to stay? That is definitely your choice. Trust and believe. Nobody's telling you you have to change, telling you you have to be anything different. But if you are trying to grow, if you're listening to me on this channel, I'm talking to people who actually are wanting to be open to growth, who are wanting to learn how to be flexible. But trust me, if you're a cross watcher and you're just curious, that's okay too. People can stay and make their own choices. Everybody has free will. But if you are truly trying to grow, evolve, heal from past trauma, past hurts, because you realize that your repeated patterns of behavior are not getting you the type of connections that you truly desire, they're not helping you or allowing you to grow in certain areas of your life, then you have to be open to receiving information, to being flexible and allowing change to occur. Be able to gain new perspectives from others outside of your own mindset. Jumbled thoughts. The mind can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven. Confusion, anxiety, escape. Yeah, I mean, if you are closed-minded, your mindset is very stagnant, and it probably is constantly in conflict with itself because there's never any new information that can come in. So you can take something good that you receive, a message, an idea, and with jumbled thoughts, completely turn something good into something negative. And it's unconscious. And it is because your ideas, your perspectives are so limiting that maybe it's become easier to just turn good things into negative things. But that's going to pretty much keep you stuck. It's going to make you very judgmental of yourself and others. It's going to have a ripple effect of a lot of negative energy and negative thoughts. Or you can take information that comes in, even confirmation, even if it's negative information, and change it into something positive. It's very hard to do when you've been in a closed-minded mindset, to transform, to be open. But it is necessary in order for growth, in order for change. It's very, very necessary. So you definitely can't stay in this type of closed box and transform, grow, evolve, gain wisdom, right? New perspectives. It's very, very important to be open. What else? Confront fears. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Bravery, healing, reclaim. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people are afraid to confront their fears because they are afraid to look at themselves in an undesirable way. But the exact thing that you're afraid to look at is what is going to tell you how to change. Maybe that thing you're insecure about, you're afraid to look at, but as soon as you face it, you'll realize that it doesn't hold that much control over you and that you do have the ability to change it. It takes bravery in order to heal, in order to reclaim who you are, in order to state that you want to be better. But somebody needs to confront their fears of having a different mindset, of being open to that change. Yeah, lack of awareness, missed chances and unseen risks. Seek facts and stay open-minded. Insight and opportunity. There you go. It's connected here with closed-minded. It means that you have a lack of awareness of who you truly are, and it creates missed chances. You miss opportunities when you have a closed mindset. So it's important to, again, allow the facts, the information to come in and to open this closed-minded box that you've been in order to get the insight that you need. If you are, again, truly trying to grow, heal, and evolve, you can't be in a mindset of lack or a lack of awareness. You have to be aware of who you are. There has to be a level of self-reflection, right? In order to bring in this new information, this insight, which will create the opportunities for growth. A few more of these. What else for the collective is important for them this week? Yeah, positive change. Transform pain into strength and empower yourself. Ascend, evolution, and free. Understand that the pain that you've gone through, it doesn't have to hinder you. It doesn't have to be a crutch the rest of your life. It doesn't have to be something that prevents you from growing. But a lot of the times people take the pain that they've experienced in their life and they use it to be a victim. They use it to be able to constantly tell the same story to the same people over years and decades as an excuse for them not to grow up, to not to become better, to not to take the lessons from the pain and turn it into empowerment. If you are a person who is doing that at this time, who takes something that's happened to them and begin to tell everyone that you know about this pain that you endured and how you were wronged in an effort to allow people to not expect more of you, this is confirmation. It's time to try to change that closed-minded mindset, that victim mentality. The things that you've survived, the pain that you've endured, it shouldn't be worn as a badge of honor to be used as an excuse to stay the same. Because at the end of the day, any type of situation that people are involved in, the person who may have hurt you, or you being the person who hurt someone else, there are always two people that have to be accountable for their own actions. Yes, it doesn't mean that if you were the person that was wronged, it doesn't mean that you didn't endure pain, but you had to participate in that particular situation in order to receive the pain. Now, again, this is general, so I'm not talking about every single situation, especially if this is about children who have no control over their environments. This is more about adults who have the ability to make their own choices. And sometimes we choose to be in situations that we know are not good for us. So then when we receive pain, we want to just blame the other person. No, we were also a participant. So there is a level of accountability that has to be taken from both sides. If that other person that gave you the pain doesn't take accountability, you can't worry about them. This is about you and your growth. You have to be accountable and say, well, why was I even with said person? Why was I even in this situation to allow myself to get this pain inflicted onto me? Because on some level, you had to allow it into your life, knowing or unknowing that that would be the result. Either way, it was a choice. You were a part of it somehow. So there's a level of accountability there. So this is about you accepting and confronting that fear of having to be accountable, reflecting on the choices that you've made, understanding that, yes, your pain is acknowledged, but turning that pain into strength in order to empower yourself, not to become a victim, not to be someone who tries to continue to tell the same story so that you can still be the same person that you are. Because that tells me if that's what you're doing, that you're not ready to change. So you should not expect people to see you any differently than they see you now. I understand that that's going to be very hard for a few of you, but this is why we talk about it. Understand that everybody has a story. Everybody has something that's happened to them that has brought them pain. You are not alone in that. Everybody's situation obviously was different as far as why the pain occurred, but everybody has experienced a level of pain in their life. Everybody has experienced a level of disappointment in their life. Physical trauma, emotional, mental. So you are not unique in your story. The details of your story may be, but not you are the only person who has experienced something painful. So you have a choice to continue to be victim or to take that pain and actually empower yourself and learn from it so that you can help others, so that you, in telling your story, is not to be a victim, but it is to empower others just as you were able to heal and be empowered because of it. You learned something about yourself that you lacked awareness of going through said situation that caused you pain. And you took the wisdom and the lesson from that situation and you allowed it to make you stronger. You allowed it to make you more aware. It allowed you to learn how to use your intuition and discernment when dealing with others, not just become a victim. Shadow blossom. You need both sunlight and darkness to bloom fully. Resilience and nourishing. Absolutely. Absolutely. I say this all the time. Yes, I am a lover of light and love. And obviously, this is why I do what I do for the collective. But I also understand that everybody has a shadow side and that it takes balance between both. in order to fully bloom into the person you are supposed to be. It's not about all light and all dark. It has to be a balance between both. Some flowers bloom in the dark better than they do in the light. Some flowers bloom better in light than they do in the dark. But at some point in time, all flowers experience both to fully bloom to its fully potential. So you have to be aware of both aspects of who you are, the light and the dark aspects. Acknowledge both sides of who you are. It's nothing to be afraid of. And once you understand both sides of who you are, you can now find that delicate balance. Yeah, one more. Hidden desires. Your deepest desires hold the seed of your potential, longing, passion, fulfilled. Once you are able to heal, flowers may be significant. Rooting, being outside may help you get grounded, may help you find ways to self-reflect here. That's what I'm getting. But everybody has hidden desires. There's things that people want to accomplish, that people want to be known for. There's things that you've been wanting to do since you were a child that may have been forgotten, right? Through all of the experiences of life, all of the broken hearts, disappointments, pain. Most people, when you get to adulthood, forget what your childhood desire was, what it is that you truly wanted to do when you were a kid, what you aspired to be, what was that one thing that you felt like was solely you. And maybe it's been hidden because of all the negativity, the negative mindset that you've held because of your experiences that you didn't turn into empowerment. So it's time to change that pain into empowerment so that you can remember what is hidden, what you desire deep down, what you long for, what is your passion, what is going to be fulfilling for you. But in order to get back down to that hidden desire, you have to be willing to face your fear, face your shadow, address it head on, reflect, look within, really look at yourself from a true lens, not from rose-colored glasses, not from the ideas of others of who you are. This is you discussing you about you. That's what's going to be needed at this time. Let me get you some other confirmations and words of encouragement for this week. Choose wisely. Decisions shape your path amid challenges. Stay open to learning as answers reveal your destined journey. Again, open your mind and choose your decisions wisely. Understand that even if a choice that you make is seen external to you, this is just not about external choices that can be seen by others. This is also about your mindset, your heart's intention. Because the thoughts that you have, the feelings that you have in your heart are also energy. They are also vibrations. And even though they are not seen, they are definitely heard. So choose wisely in all aspects. What else? Wise counsel. Seek guidance from trusted friends or mentors to help you along. Again, yes, it's a tough thing to do to face yourself. So sometimes it's good to ask for perspective from someone that you trust. Not just your coworkers or, people who you just party and go out with, No. Wise counsel is going to be your elders, maybe someone older in your family, a trusted grandparent, great grandparent, um, that friend that that is not judgmental, where you can actually seek good advice. You can tell them where you're struggling, and that they won't judge you, but they can give you a different perspective about who you are and how they see you. That can start to open your mind to what things you need to work on. Because a real friend is going to be honest with you in the right situations, especially if you ask. So look for wise counsel this week. Enjoy the journey. Embrace each moment fully, staying open to new experiences and lessons along the way. Yeah, you guys, again, I'll always say it, healing is ugly. It's not fun. But what becomes enjoyable as you start to do this, again, take baby steps, right? It's not a sprint, it's literally a marathon. We are always supposed to be working on healing something about ourselves, always trying to learn more about who we are and then apply it to our life. So enjoy the journey. Every time you learn something new about yourself or figure out a certain aspect of yourself, and you actually start to work on slowly changing that part, and you start to see the positive results, you start to see your desires, it will make you start to enjoy the journey that you're on, the breakthroughs that you have. Even if you have a moment of purging where you just start to cry because you realize something about yourself that's not that pretty. In that moment of tears, yes, you will feel sadness, but there will also be a level of satisfaction you feel because it is a realization that maybe you didn't know about before. Again, give yourself grace. Be compassionate towards yourself. Speak positivity to yourself, and enjoy the journey and the experiences. It's not just supposed to be hard and, cumbersome, and it's not a punishment. Planning phase. Take a step back and plan the necessary steps to move forward so you may turn your goals into reality. Yeah, like I said, in order to figure out where you're going, take the time to self-reflect, okay? It's like the brainstorming phase of your healing. As you self-reflect, you start to figure out the things that need to be addressed, as far as figuring out what parts of you are your shadow. What parts of you do you want to change? Do you want to grow and evolve? Do you want to be better at? So plan. Get a journal. I say it all the time. Write your thoughts down. It doesn't have to be anything that you share with others, especially in the beginning, especially if you feel like there's not really people around you that you can trust with said information about you, because sometimes people will take information that they know about you and use it against you. They will act like they are your friend. They will smile in your face. They will make you feel like you're their favorite person. And as soon as you open up to them about something about your life that you're going through, they will use it against you at the first moment. So I understand that you cannot always be open with people that you have in your life about things that you have going on, about the things that maybe you're not so proud of about who you are. So sometimes just getting a journal and writing it down, all your thoughts, how you feel that day, what made you feel a certain way that didn't feel good, how can you change that situation around so it's more positive. Write those things down so you can reference them. Okay. River of release. Drift along the river of release where waters carry away burdens, guiding towards renewal. Yeah. This journaling will be a way to start to release some of those burdens that you've been carrying on your shoulder. Because when it's something that's not sitting in your mind anymore, it's something that you're writing down. It's no longer a thought process, right? It's now something written down. You got it off of your brain. So you're releasing it. Winds of fortune. Allow the winds of fortune to guide your sails, maneuvering through life's opportunities and challenges with adaptability. Yes, be adaptable. Like I said, you can't be closed-minded and grow. You have to be adaptable. Ebbs and flows, right? That's why the ocean is here. When you see a boat on the water, it ebbs and flows with the changes because it can't control the ocean. All it can do is adapt to survive. All right. Let me get you a few messages from your cosmic oracles. See what's going to be important for you to focus on as you are working on these shadow aspects of you. And like I said, these are not meant to be overwhelming. This is just making you aware of possible things that you deal with and just kind of bringing it to your awareness. So it's now in your subconscious rather than your unconscious. And just giving you some advice on maybe how to address those things. Because this is never about judgment of anybody. Because again, we all have shadow sides of us, that we can work on. Let your feelings out. All of them, even the ones that scare you. So a lot of you guys may hold your emotions in, you don't express yourself, or you have a hard time expressing yourself. So this is confirmation that it's time to express your emotions, express how you're feeling, because when you hold emotions in, especially negative emotions, they turn into rage and anger. They turn into you wanting to seek revenge because you're sad deep down. Anger covers up sadness. It covers up sorrow. So let your feelings out, whether that is verbally, whether that is in journaling, but let all of them out, even the ones that scare you. Sometimes people are absolutely afraid of their feelings of love, of loving another person, because they've been heartbroken so many times. They've been disappointed so many times that they feel like if their heart goes through one more disappointment, that it may crumble forever. I promise you it won't. And love, while, yes, love can bring levels of disappointment and heartbreak, understand it's not love that made you feel that way. It is the person who said that they loved you, who claimed that they cared for you, that hurt you. It wasn't love's fault. Love is an action. Love is shown. Love is unseen, and it is felt by the things that people do. So maybe it is this person or situation that disguised itself as love that hurt you. Because I promise you, love is the universe's highest vibration along with gratitude. So it is not here to hurt. It is only here to nurture, to embrace, to adore. So if you are a person that I'm connecting to that is scared of feelings of love or affection or feelings of loving someone else because of past situations that have shaped you, it's time to be brave. It's time to let your feelings out. It's time to speak and not have fear, because sometimes you end up getting the outcome you want when you are courageous. But if you hold them in and you never express them, then how do you ever know what's available? That's for somebody. Remember that you can't change anyone but yourself. Exactly. This is about you, collective. This is about your growth. One of the hardest realities that I had to learn when I was healing is that I had to heal myself. I couldn't try to heal myself and also save everyone else. Again, because everybody's on their own journey. Everybody feels differently about themselves. So maybe you feel it's time for you to grow, but not everybody around you will feel that they need growth or change. And it's okay. You have to accept that. It doesn't mean you have to interact with said individuals. If you no longer are on the same page, it doesn't mean that you have to just accept their behavior if it doesn't stay in alignment with where you're trying to go. You also don't have to judge them either. Everybody's on a different journey, on a different timeline. This is about you focusing on you and understanding you cannot change anybody but yourself. That was definitely a hard lesson for me because I thought that my love, showing love to others, maybe that I felt like they were lacking, would allow them to change, would help them to change. It will allow them to see them the way that I saw them. But what I was seeing was just potential. It wasn't really who they were. So I was always disappointed because I thought my love was strong enough to make them see them for who they really were deep down, because that's how I saw them. And it may be who they really are on a soul level, but they were not trying to see themselves on that level like me. It was all surface. So ultimately, I was always disappointed, trying to make people ready to see what they were not wanting to see yet. This is about you, collective. Look around and find some signs the universe is speaking to you. Yes, I'm sure that you guys are getting confirmations that it's time to change, whether that is repeating numbers 111, 222, 333, 444, 123, 234, 456, 777, 1212, 1111, 1010, 999, 811, 111. Whether this is you seeing a lot of birds, that means that your universe is trying to communicate to you that they see you, that they understand that you are possibly ready for this change. Even if you're not fully ready, right? Your intention, what's coming from your heart space, your thoughts, is still energy. Your life is so special. Treat it with love and care. Yes, collective. This life that you are living right now at this moment is so special. Everybody has a certain purpose, even if you don't know it yet. Treat yourself with love and care because your life is so special. What you have to bring to this world, to the people around you, is special, even if you don't know why yet, or understand, or believe it yourself. Faith doesn't need you to be able to see yet, it just needs you to hold on to that hope, that possibility, that positivity. But you are special. Your life is so special. And even if the people around you may not tell you or may not treat you as such, you are allowed to treat you as such. You are allowed to see yourself as special, no matter what others say. Because remember, this is not about anybody else but you. Guilt is normal. Guilt is a normal feeling. Just breathe in and let it go. So if you are having a hard time believing that you are special out of guilt, out of shame, because of past decisions that you have made, forgive yourself and let it go. Breathe in and let it go. Don't hold on to guilt. Don't hold on to shame. It becomes a heavy burden. Take accountability if that's what's needed in order for you to let it go. But do what you need to do in order to let the guilt and the shame go. It doesn't have to be something that you own. You can lease it for a little while if you need to work through and gain perspective as to why you feel this way. But that contract is coming up on its expiration date. It's time to let it go very soon. Process what you need to process. Take accountability where you need to take accountability. Forgive yourself. Pray about it. But truly let it go. Write down what you feel guilty about, what you feel shame about, and let it go. Burn it. Get rid of it. So that you can start to move forward, so that you can start to truly grow and evolve to a higher version of yourself. This is going to weigh you down, and we don't need anything weighing us down. All right, a few messages from the cosmos before I close. Shadow message part 1. Check out shadow message part 2, which will be our threads of karma message. Trust your intuition. The universe guides you. Like I said, ask for help. Bravery. Face the unknown with bravery and trust your steps. What else? Nurture others and also yourself. Like I said, be kind to yourself, collective. This process is never easy. Do not talk negatively to yourself, even if it's just your thoughts. Acceptance. Accept others and yourself. Welcome new opportunities. Accept who you are, collective. Your life is so special because you are. Creativity. Creativity is your inner expression. Unleash it. Like I said, journal, write things down, draw how you're feeling. Whatever it is that you can do to release and express yourself, start doing that. You'll be surprised how good it makes you feel to be able to express yourself from a raw perspective where no one can judge it because it is just about you right now. One more for the collective. Hope. Hope is a beam of light in the darkness. Hope. Faith. Hold on to it. No matter the challenge, no matter how hard things get, keep hope that you will figure this out, that you will find a way forward. Monarch butterflies and butterflies are very significant. They do represent transformation. It is time to start your transformation journey. Like I said, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Baby steps. Baby steps, collective. But acknowledging, having awareness are the first steps. Acceptance is the next step. And then being courageous and brave to face those things that you don't want to face will be your next. All right, you guys. Love you to the moon and back. See you in part 2. Until next time. Bye.